Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We're going over the portfolio finally. I do want to be just very transparent. I do have about $750 sitting in my TFSA. Just me, I bought BMO right after it collapsed after its earnings, and I sold it, so I had about 1,200 some dollars to play with. Put a bit of that into the market. The rest of it's just sitting there. I'm very likely going to put it in BMAX, EQCL, ESPX, even though I did miss the dividend. My understanding was record date was yesterday, meaning today they should all drop around that amount. Try to pick a few up now. We'll see what really happens. So yeah, hopefully PAYF, if it falls below $13, or sorry, $8.30 a share, I'm more than happy to pick that one up. But with that said, this is the base portfolio for dividend growth, among other reasons why I picked them, and a little bit about each company. So before we get into anything here, I just want you guys to look at the companies we have right now. EQB, OZK, EPD, UBCP, SBFG, MHC.U, ADC, O, Main, NET.UN, and CJ Cardinal Energy. Now, the biggest reason for this change is I have basically decided from looking at everything that, while it's been amazing for me to have these really large dividend income from Y Tesla and everything, the volatility and all that stuff scares me away. I'm not giving myself a raise at all because I'm literally taking the money, being like, I don't know what to do with it, and shove it into like the next thing, and we'll see, what happens from there. But here, though, I'm actually giving myself a minimum a 2-cent raise every single month, specifically from mostly 3 holdings. These holdings being OZK, EQB, EPD, SBFG. So sorry, 4 holdings. These 4 holdings give me anywhere from 10 cents to 20 cents a month of an increase. And again, obviously, like OZK, this is USD. This is not Canadian. But, looking down here, then you can see every single month what it looks like. December being by far the best, and getting almost $2 of dividend increases just based off that. So $2, if you think about it, compare that to EIT/UN. A dollar is 10 shares, is $130. $2, 260 for less than 2. Basically, I'm saving myself $260 total of an increase just for doing this. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but again, remember that adds up over time, because they base the dividend hikes normally off that same amount, and it's based off them coming in with expectations. EQB, I was expecting a 10-cent hike. Guess what? I got a 20. Main Street did not hike dividends for the month of March, so I'm not really surprised it's in the random section. But if it did, that's an additional 12 USD cents added up. So it just adds up very slowly over time, and that's the entire reason why we went with this approach. With that said, I also switched my focus mostly to have a base of dividend growth like this that you guys see here, before I started branching off and going very aggressive again with income funds. And spoiler, if you guys have seen the market, income funds have been doing pretty damn well. I'm waiting for PDIs back into the 19 range. I know I have a few of them in here. PWI is back in the 670 range. I don't count PMZ as one. It's like 6%. Definitely not Mara West. Alaris is in 1620. BMAX is still very slowly climbing, 1318. I'm probably going to be buying this one, I'm not going to lie. QQQY, Y Tesla has climbed up from $17 a share back up to 18. Y Google, you're still getting a 5% yield. GOF is $14. ENS is still below 12, meaning you can grab a pretty decent yield right now. Y Amazon has hit $40, meaning if you bought this at IPO, you've literally 100% based on the share price, not including dividends. EIT, you've climbed up, and like the list just goes on and on and on and on. If you really want to include FN in all this as well. BTB, literally same thing. So again, you can look at all of these and say, damn, dude, there is actually quite a lot of stuff going on. This is awesome. So, there's a lot of income funds that we can choose from. EQCL, ESPX. I don't think I actually even... They're not even in my watch list. Oh yeah, here they are. These two guys right here. So this one is just a whole ton of income funds literally shoved in together. Well, this one is literally the S&P 500 of 33% covered calls. 8% yield. This one is like 10%. I think I want to say relatively close to 11% still. But again, my point still stands that these are also two other income funds that you could potentially go for if you really want to get that mix and diversity. And like, this is literally a fund of funds for, I think it's Evolve, if I'm not mistaken. Horizon? Yeah, Horizon. So I'm looking at this being like, these stocks are insanely volatile. They go up, down, all around. They're kind of crazy. Like EQB was almost at $100. Guess where it ended up right now? And actually, this is a mistake. This was my old price. $84.11 is my price now. Here, we're gonna just swap back and forth. But this is my current portfolio. I have to update everything still. With the 728 I have left. Oh, don't you love ads in the background? Sorry guys, I'm gonna just... Whoop. I love muting it. But regardless though, this is what the portfolio looks like as of right now. We have all the growth we need. I am gonna still maybe look at a few more, but as you guys can see, the pattern I've been following is finding companies that continuously hike multiple times a year, not just once. OZK hikes 4 times a year. If I can actually highlight it. OZK is right there. OZK is right here. OZK is right there. And then same thing as it hikes the exact same time as Realty Income. EQB and UBCP hike at, again, the exact same time. PDI hikes twice a year, and then SBF hikes when it doesn't. So the growth is literally there. We have exactly what we want for the growth. 10 cents minimum. We can now go on and move elsewhere and try to figure out now for income-wise how to get this as close as we can to $100 by the end of the year. That is the goal. Hopefully dragging up the portfolio yield with it. If we don't, I'm not going to cry. I don't care too much. I don't care that much about it. But the goal is that. Is $100 end of the year, purely focusing on that. So, EQB, here's everything you need to know. Book value of 70.33, well above that. Payout ratio, this is actually now 15%. This is based off the most recent one. ROE, this one has also changed. I want to say it dipped down to 15%. I could be mistaken, though. I got to double check. OZK, book value of 42.43. We got it at 42.26, so slightly below book value. Payout ratio of 26%. With a yield of 3.06, you can't be that surprised the payout ratio is so freaking low. EPD, payout ratio of 60%. This is basically a smaller version of Enbridge in the US. Pays relatively the same yield, 6.54% to my understanding. I think Enbridge is around, I want to say 7% now. Oh my god, it's almost up above 8. Holy dude. But overall, it's just... I just like it way more, and it also seems to have management that actually is like very, no offense to Enbridge holders, that relatively know what they're doing for growth, debt, very conservative, so I really like that about it. UBCP, it has a book value or NAV of 1080. Obviously, again, we're well above that. It has a payout ratio of 40%. I feel like that is very wrong, but I don't know if I update here. No, I didn't. I'm going to double check that. Maybe that is correct, and maybe I'm just way off, but I'm going to double check this guy really quick. This one's another U.S. small bank, singles SBFG, payout ratio of 24%. Again, the yields are really all over the place for this top category. It goes from 2 to 6, 2, 3, 6, basically 6%. Let's be real here. 3.24. Excuse me. Now, for my monthly payers, we have Flagship Community REIT. This is a manufactured home community. So if you don't know what a manufactured home is, it is literally a slab house, meaning you have basically a block of concrete with a house built on top. There's zero basement, very small, very difficult to sell and get out of if you want to. But most of these guys' tenants are military vets, people in government assistant, aka the government is literally paying for their rent. Retirees, because it's very low rent. It's like $400 a month for the plot of land, and they have to deal with the housing and stuff like that. So overall, very good, really good occupancy, a very good payout ratio, very high NAV. We are literally nowhere near that. ADC properties 2004. I think this is still I don't think this is updated. I could be mistaken. NAV of 5 5171. We're obviously above that quite a bit. This is another one. Yeah, that's also off. This is my old buy price. Realty income, again, I feel like this is all pretty off as well, but overall 76% payout ratio, NAV of 63.75. We are now below NAV or book value. Yield is also 5.10%, which if you buy it right now, you're still getting a 5%. It's just, if you want to buy Realty Income with a 5% yield, your time's running out. I believe it's like 52.23 is 5%. Maybe I'm mistaken. 32-ish. Yeah, there you go. 52.32 if you want to get it at a 5% yield. So keep that in mind if you want to buy it. Main Street Capital, they announced special dividends for the month of, what are we going into? March right now, of 30 cents per share, the biggest they've ever paid. Monthly dividend is exactly the same, though. There was no hike, as I mentioned before. NAV of 28.30. We again are well above the NAV, but it also does give a very nice yield, and I think we could also, this is what it's going to look like with the dividend payment, which is pretty damn good. And obviously divided over the months, this is what you're looking at. But realistically, this is what I'm expecting from it. Canadian Net REIT, I love this little REIT. We're going to see what happens to it. I'm very iffy on it, mostly because earnings is coming up. We haven't gotten a dividend hike yet. Honestly, I'm not really expecting one. I'm expecting to shove this guy in the income category because it's a 7.11%. Literally, the price has not moved since I bought it. It's gone almost up to $4.90 and it just comes right back down. So clearly something is happening to it. But again, 7.11% yield. I'm not really going to complain. I could definitely do better, but we will see what happens to it. Cardinal Energy payout ratio 70%. It's an oil and gas Alberta, Saskatchewan company. Got it below $6. $6 or below is my target for it. 12.14% yield, my highest yielder by a long shot. And just overall, again, I absolutely love it. I love Cardinal. I love everything in the portfolio. So this is what we're looking at. Again, we do have money to spend. I don't really want to touch Enbridge. I'll be real here. I'll be real with you. I'm very likely, again, if the drop happens tomorrow, I'll be buying. Damn, even then, it's not going to hit. Even then, it's not going to really hit it. So, ex-dividend date is February 26th. So, actually, we've already passed the ex-dividend date, which sucks. Yeah, it would have been... Yeah, right around there. Excuse me. $60 to 18. So, again, the goal for PAYF is 1830 is the absolute max I'm going to buy this thing. Basically, just entirely based on yield. Not because I dislike it, not because anything like that. I really want to rebuy PAYF. It's just this. I want to get at least a 9% with something that has covered calls in it. Excuse me. Just to do with the risk. Again, it's not really anything of being like, oh, it's a bad fund. Oh, it has a risk of cutting the dividend. I'm just paranoid because it uses covered calls that if something, happens to it, they genuinely cannot, they can't sustain it, which is which scares the living hell out of me. So because this is so high, again, it'd probably be BMAX because this one just relies on other funds to pay it, and then it goes out and pays you. 9% still really not end of the world, and they did just recently hike it because guess what? The nav and everything increased. I think they even full years of deception gave a return of 14.7%. As a result of this strong performance, Brompton is pleased to announce an increase to the monthly distribution. They did. I know they did bring it up. I'm just waiting for it. I don't think they actually even talked about the nav. No, they don't. Either way, I swear I saw something where it's like, oh, it's doing so well, the nav's increased, so, you know, we're going to be doing this with it. But overall, I'm thinking I'm going to go with this one. And then maybe a little bit of EQCL. Actually, I'll probably just go EU. Yeah, I'll definitely probably just go with this one. So again, sadly, missed distributions because literally as it says, ex-dividend date's the 28th, so like we literally missed it. But again, EQCL right here pays a very, very nice yield of 11%. So we're definitely going to be looking into it. And also, again, like, I get it, like, oh, bull market, we've done nothing but go up. But at the same time, like, this one is pretty damn well diversified globally that I'm actually, and I'm going to get shit on for this if Strongman or anyone sees this, VT. It's a covered call income fans dream of VT because that has exposure to international markets, Canada, the US, not at weighted caps, which is the only reason why I'm like, it's not really like VT, but it still gives some exposure ish to that. So just something to keep in mind if you guys are ever looking for, like, I want global exposure, very good income. This is what I'm probably going to be shoving my money into. This is a relatively new fund. It's only been out since October, so 4 months. But since then, again, it IPO'd at like $20. It dipped down to 19.25, and since then it's done nothing but just go up consistently. So I'm probably gonna add this guy, and it should be, I think, like $7 extra a month. We're at 45, and I'll just keep throwing money into it, seeing what happens. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you all have yourself a good one. Hopefully tomorrow's green for y'all. And yeah, have a good one. It's been quite a while. Bye.